President Trump is a failed leader. He will go down in history as the worst president ever. The good thing is that he soon will be as irrelevant as an old tweet.
Donald Trump's political empire isn't just cracking, it's collapsing like a cheap casino built on sand. And in what might be the most jaw-dropping political ambush of the decade, Arnold Schwarzenegger, yes, the Terminator himself, stepped out of the shadows with a warning that could end Trump's career once and for all. Forget the polite disagreements of Washington. This was a demolition, pure and unfiltered. The internet didn't just react, it exploded. What started as a petty exchange over TV ratings spiraled into a brutal war of words that threatens to expose Trump's deepest insecurities. Arnold didn't just aim for Trump's ego, he went for the very foundation of the myth that built his entire political brand.
President Trump, I just saw your press conference with President Putin, and it was embarrassing. I mean, you stood there like a little wet noodle, like a little fanboy. I mean, I was asking myself, when are you going to ask him for an autograph or for a selfie or something like that? I mean, you literally sold out at this press conference our intelligence community, our justice system, and worst of all, our country. You're the president of the United States. You shouldn't do that. I mean, what's the matter with you? I mean, whatever happened to the strong words or to the strength of Ronald Reagan when he stood there at the Berlin Wall and he said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. What happened to all that?
Began with Trump's smug smirk in Iowa, tossing a grenade of mockery about Schwarzenegger's stint on The Apprentice. It was a total disaster, Trump sneered, convinced it was just another insult that would vanish into the noise. But Arnold's reply was no ordinary clapback. It was a declaration of war. Why don't we switch jobs? He shot back, each word dripping with precision. Social media detonated. In seconds, Arnold's challenge became a viral juggernaut, trending across continents. But beneath the humor was something lethal, a challenge to the very idea that Trump's celebrity equaled leadership. For the first time in years, Trump's armor of bravado had been pierced, and the wound was about to deepen.
I want to ask you a quick question about Donald Trump. He listed his weight at 215 pounds. You are one of the foremost experts on the male physique, bodybuilding, etc. When you size him up, what would you guess that man weighs?
You know, I don't really know how much he weighs. I can tell you one thing, that if you would ask me what should you do for fitness, I would just say run around yourself 3 times. You're gonna be in great shape.
Your next move wasn't just strategic, it was devastating. In a video that blended Hollywood drama with cold political truth, Arnold dismantled Trump's presidency piece by piece. He mocked Trump's humiliating press conference with Vladimir Putin, comparing him to a little wet noodle, a fanboy desperate for an autograph. The insult stung not just because it was funny, but because it was true. Arnold reminded America of Reagan's strength against the Soviet Union, and contrasted it with Trump's public submission to a foreign leader. It was more than criticism, it was an indictment. The message was clear, Trump hadn't just embarrassed himself, he had betrayed the country on the world stage.
As an immigrant to this country, I would like to say a few words to my fellow Americans. President Trump sought to overturn the results of an election, and of a fair election. He sought a coup by misleading people with lies.
And then Arnold went deeper. He accused Trump of trying to overturn a fair election, of leading a coup through lies. The accusation hung in the air like a blade, because it wasn't coming from a Democrat, but from a Republican icon who had governed a blue state with dignity. Social media became a battlefield of comparisons, Arnold balancing budgets versus Trump, dodging facts, Arnold inspiring unity versus Trump fueling division. Every meme, every hashtag was another nail in the coffin of Trump's winner persona. And in the middle of it all, one uncomfortable truth began to spread. If Arnold was right, Trump's so-called political empire was nothing more than a house of cards.
They hired a big movie star, Arnold Schwarzenegger, to take my place. And we know how that turned out. The ratings went right down the tubes. It's been a total disaster. And Mark will never, ever bet against Trump again. And I want to just pray for Arnold if we can for those ratings, okay?
He warned that democracy, like that sword, must be forged through fire or it would shatter. And then, with the weight of history in his voice, He drew a chilling parallel between Nazi Germany's Kristallnacht and the January 6th attack on the Capitol. This wasn't hyperbole, it was a reminder from someone who had lived among the ruins of fascism. President Trump is a failed leader, he declared, his voice steady. He will go down as the worst president in history. No slogan, no spin, just a verdict that could haunt Trump for the rest of his life.
You said history shouldn't repeat itself. Donald Trump is now the front runner to be the nominee of your party, of the Republican Party. Given everything you said, does that concern you?
Absolutely not, because being a front runner of one party and letting them dig this hole deeper and deeper is going to make it easier for the Democrats in the end to win. It's sad to see that they couldn't come up with a new talent, with a new face that is a reasonable, smart, intelligent person that can lead this country in a Republican way.
You think there's no way he would win again?
No.
What if he did?
What is if it is a hypothetical question? But I can guarantee you that he's going to go maybe get the Republican nomination. Then when it comes down to the actual election, there's too many people now that have seen what he did as president, that I think when it comes to the majority on election day, I think they will see the difference between one or the other. And believe me, I'm not the first one to say, hey, this is really great to have Biden back as president. No, but there's just no better option there, the way it looks right now.
Trump's defenders tried to laugh it off, spinning Arnold's attacks as Hollywood drama, but they underestimated the weight of Arnold's voice. This wasn't some late-night comedian poking fun for ratings. This was a former Republican governor, war hero on screen, an immigrant success story dismantling the mythology of President Trump the Strong. He peeled away the image, revealing a man obsessed with applause, not accountability. Ratings aren't leadership, Arnold snapped in an interview. Approval is earned through action, not TV numbers. It was a scalpel to Trump's ego. The statement spread like wildfire, not just among liberals but across independent voters. The very group Trump desperately needs if he dreams of a political comeback. Why do you think you'd be a good president, or would have been? Yeah, I think that I have the talent to be a good president. And I also think that I have the talent to go out and to sell that idea to the American people. Those two candidates, Trump and Biden, suck all the energy, all the oxygen out of the room when they give a press speech or do anything. So no one else has the chance of getting the exposure, and there's really no one with a big name, so to speak, you know. So that's why it would be easier for me, you know, that from 1 minute to the next that dynamic would change if I would jump into a race like that. And then came the gut punch. Arnold revealed the truth behind The Apprentice's collapse. It wasn't his hosting that drove viewers away. It was Trump himself. Half the country wouldn't watch because of him, Arnold said. The boycott by advertisers and audiences wasn't a ratings accident. It was proof that Trump's toxic brand could sink anything it touched. Even before his presidency ended, Trump had poisoned his own legacy in entertainment. The implication was chilling. If Trump could destroy a TV franchise just by association, what had he already done to America's institutions? The clip went viral, and for the first time, even some MAGA loyalists had no comeback. As the former governor of California, my home state, California's been in the headlines. Obviously, there've been these huge protests of President Trump's immigration policies. He threatened to potentially arrest Gavin Newsom if he didn't comply. If you were governor right now of California, how would you be handling the ongoing crisis that the state's facing? Well, I think the most important thing is when you are in a leadership position like that is that you are inclusive and that you work together with everybody. And so it means that you have to work together with local government, the state government, and the federal government. They have to work together rather than fighting each other's agendas and all that stuff. That doesn't do good to anybody. And so that's number one. Number two, the most important thing is to create immigration reform, because all of this is happening because we don't have immigration reform. For decades now, this country has needed immigration reform, which means that we recognize the fact there's people in the South of America that want to come north to work, and that we therefore should supply them with enough visas so they can come because we need those workers. So this is the bottom line, because then we would know who is here. We will be able to get rid of the criminal elements that are here, and all of this stuff. So we wouldn't be in a mess that we in right now. So this is my way of saying always Democrats and Republicans have to come together and solve this issue. If they really want to be public servants, yeah, if they want to be party servants and be party hacks and be tied to the ideology, then it won't happen. But if you want to make this country better, and if you want to improve this country and improve the situation of people's lives and bring the prices down and all of this, you will go and serve the people of America. This is what it is. You're public servant, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what I would do if I'm governor. Arnold's precision strikes didn't stop at Trump's incompetence. He went after the cowardice of those enabling him. Lifting the Conan sword once more, he declared, "They used you as cannon fodder." He named no names, but everyone knew who he meant. Fox News hosts, MAGA senators, Republican leaders who stayed silent as lies spread. He wasn't just calling out Trump. He was indicting an entire political machine built to protect one man's ego. And in that moment, Schwarzenegger's criticism transcended party politics. It became a rallying cry for anyone, Republican or Democrat, who believed America's democracy was worth defending against its own president. The brilliance of Arnold's assault was that it wasn't just personal, it was historical. He spoke about growing up in post-war Austria, surrounded by broken men who had fought for a fascist cause, drowning in shame and alcohol. Watching the January 6th rioters, he said, brought that memory back in an instant. This week, he warned, I saw the same kind of violence carried out by people drunk on lies. The